Hello, hello, everybody. How are you doing on this amazing evening? Now, it's evening over here in South Carolina. Now, if you notice, I have an amazing person right here beside me. His name is Mr. Larry Fletcher. We like to call him Flet. And he is giving a little bit of his time with us today. And the reason why I brought him on is because he has been a part of this amazing campaign, which I have been talking about, that is empowering women. And from a man doing something that is empowering a woman, it has to be something pretty amazing about him. So I wanted you guys to meet him. I wanted you to hear some of his information because he's been doing a lot of different research for a long time. And he is one of the individuals in which I am partnering with for the Justice for My Jewel campaign. My husband and I were so super duper excited. So, Larry, let the people know a little bit about you.
Well, hello, everybody. Thank you for bringing me on, Miss Ramsey. My name is Larry Fletcher. I've been a part of an amazing campaign. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud
Okay.
and clear.
I've been a part of this amazing campaign, educating women and young teens about the harmful and sometimes deadly effects of sanitary napkins. And it's been a 2 year journey for me, uh, and it's been very exciting. How I came across information like this was my wife was on Facebook viewing a video, and it was highlighting some of these things that I'm about to show you tonight. And I was amazed because my wife had told me she was actually using these products, these store-bought products. And being that my daughter is 9 years old, well, she was 9 years old at the time. I actually thought about her entering that stage where she may start her cycle, because I remember a young lady that I used to be in elementary school with, and she started her cycle at 9 years old right there in the classroom. And I remember the embarrassment on her face, and having her, she had to go to the nurse's office, and it was just, I always remember that. And that was elementary school, and I'm 38 years old today. So I definitely wanted to become more aware, educate myself, and give my family something that I felt comfortable with them wearing. So what I'm about to show you tonight, it actually may enlighten you. It actually may bring some awareness that you never even thought about. And so that's my story and how I got started.
But thank you so much for sharing that with us. And what I loved about what you said was that it was a situation that you remember as a child that made such an impact on you that as you grew up, it still, you got married and you had your own daughter, and it just really brought back to home. Like, I remember how this young girl suffered when I was just a boy in elementary school, and I do not want my child or my wife to suffer as well. So that is very profound, that moment was actually the caliper of changing how you looked at a female issue, which is something usually a male is not traditionally inclined to get more information on, because let's face it, most men don't talk about this type of stuff.
Exactly.
So to know that that had an impact on you, and then you taking it full circle, and now you're doing something that is empowering women, and that's what um, really pulled me to you, because I actually saw one of your videos with another individual, and what drew me was that I saw two men talking about something that I deal with every single month, and talked about it with such love, such a zest of education, and it was in such a way that made me say, hey, I need to check into this because I really want to learn more. And so that's how my journey started with this campaign, because I was looking for something, but I didn't know where to look. And I had no idea about all the things that Larry is about to go over with us today. So, you right now, being the age that you are now, going back from that young boy, and now you're here, a grown man with your own family. Why should we as women be concerned about the traditional sanitary napkins? that we use today? Why should we be concerned about it?
Well, I'm actually gonna show you guys a demonstration of actually the store-bought sanitary napkins. It's actually the most popular brand that's out there. And when I was doing this to practice demonstrations 2 years ago, I noticed that women don't have many choices. And when I was going down that aisle, and I was kind of nervous and scared because I'm like, man, people looking at me like I'm sitting there in the aisle like this, like, trying to study these products. And I noticed women don't have many choices. They have about three name brands that are out there that they they have a choice. There's some other brands, but they probably don't work as well. So that was one of the things I noticed. So I'm actually going to flip my camera around, and I'm actually going to show you guys a store-bought sanitary napkin. So one of the things we noticed when we open these up is that it has this on here. And what this is, it says that it has a 10-hour leak guard protection. Now, I asked women in these demonstrations, have you ever worn a sanitary pad for 10 hours? And the answer would be no.
No.
Have you ever worn a sanitary pad for 5 hours?
No.
No. So the question I ask is, you're buying these products and it's not even keeping you protected for half the time that you're wearing it, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
So why do you continue to buy it? So that's one of the questions that we ask, because as far as leak guard protection, it's supposed to keep you dry and it's not supposed to leak, because women change it because every hour or two, because it doesn't keep them dry and it ends up eventually leaking. So they have to change every 1 or 2 hours because they're afraid they're going to have an accident.
Yeah.
So one of the things we're going to do is we're going to dissect this pad. So when we did our research 2 years ago in bringing this product to the market, we discovered, gynecologists, actually, we spoke with several gynecologists, and they told us that on the average, a woman would flow between 15 and 50 milliliters throughout the day. So we're going to simulate that. Okay. I have a cup here and it's at 50 right here. This is 50 milliliters. And we're just going to pour this as a simulation throughout the day on this sanitary napkin. I have used blue dye. This is blue dye in the water, just so you guys can actually see it. All right. So one of the things we have to keep in mind when a woman is on her cycle, she is flowing, right? So she's doing things throughout the day and she has an uncomfortable feeling because this is wet. But what people don't know is what lies in here. So a lot of women have been suffering from different challenges from these sanitary napkins because of the makeup. So we have women who may have suffered ovarian cancer, or uh, endometriosis, fibroids, tumors, and things of that nature. So you ladies know some of the challenges that we uh, are having during that time of the month, or even as a woman, throughout your life, you start to have these different type of challenges. And so we discovered that as far as our research, and you can go to WebMD to back up anything that I say, that this could potentially be coming from these products. And we're going to show you why. So when I put this napkin over this, I press down on it. And as you see, it is completely wet, right? So this is why women actually switch over to tampons, because they do not like this wet, damp feeling throughout the day. And so this is something we want to eliminate, because we'll talk about in a minute why tampons are dangerous. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to actually take the first layer off of this pad. Okay. And so this first layer right here, get this off. All right. So this first layer, a lot of women, when I do this, I ask them, what is this first layer to you? What does it feel like? Or what does it look like? And they'll say cotton. And then I'll ask them to touch it. And they can immediately tell that it's not cotton because it's kind of rough, right?
Mm-hmm.
And as we know, cotton don't make no sound like this.
No.
You hear that sound? Cotton don't make that sound. So this is synthetic plastic. All right. So this is why a woman may be having irritation when she wears a pad, because this is the first layer that touches the most sensitive part of a woman's body. So this causes itching. This causes vaginal rawness. Uh, this causes a bunch of things that may have a woman switch from pads to tampons. I actually have a sister-in-law who actually told me she was allergic to pads, and when I seen this layer, I said, "Wow, she might not be allergic. It's just she's this first layer here is what's causing the reaction." Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So now we're going to go into this layer here. So as you see, there's a blue dye in this pad. It's not the dye that I put in, but it's embedded into this pad, right? It's a little design right here through the middle. And
Mm-hmm.
so we discovered that this layer does not serve a purpose other than to hold the absorbency system into its place so it doesn't shift or move. Now, my question is, why did they have to put blue dye in here? Okay, they could have made this completely white, but they chose to put blue dye. You have to ask yourself why. Well, we know that these companies make a lot of money when you keep going back and purchasing their product. So, just my opinion and my opinion alone, feeling like they put this blue dye in here because they want you to bleed more so you can buy more. Okay.
Wow.
There's no reason that blue dye should be in this pad. It doesn't have this particular pad doesn't have any fragrance at all in it. So there should be no blue dye here. So you imagine that you have blue dye going into your bloodstream, not just once, but every single month that you're using these pads. Okay. And imagine you're using this from the average girl starts her cycle at 13 years old. So imagine you're using this from the time you're 13 to the time you're in your 40s and 50s. You've been exposing yourself to this. All right. So this is the actual absorbency system. And it's actually made, and you can, like I said, you can go to WebMD and you can Google and you can type in what's in my sanitary napkin, or what is my sanitary napkin made of? Or you can also type in, are my sanitary napkins dangerous? Right? So what we found out what this is made of recycled newspaper. It's also made of, am I getting feedback?
Mm-mm. You
Oh,
okay?
oh, okay. It's made of recycled newspaper. It's also made of I'm losing my thought here. Recycled newspaper, wood chip fibers, and what they do is they send it through a shredder, and it shreds this material up, and then it sends it through an 8-step bleaching process. Now, when it sends it through the bleaching process, it gives off a chemical called dioxin. So you can do your research on dioxin, and you can see what dioxin is basically related to. What's his next door neighbor? And you'll be pretty amazed. Dioxin can also be found in our food also, but being that it's in something that's going to touch the most precious part of your body, you give birth, to children, you want to be aware of these type of things. So recycled newspaper, wood chip fibers, they shred it, send it through an 8-step bleaching process, and they make it appear white. The reason they make it appear white is because when we think something is white, we think that it's cotton,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So That's why they do that. Now, this is the absorbency system, and we're going to put it in this cup here. All right. Now, this is the real killer here also is this last layer. As you see, this last layer is equivalent to 4 plastic trash bags. Okay?
Wow.
4 plastic trash bags. It has no holes or no breathability in it. Okay? So you imagine a woman's body or a human's body, but we're just going to go with the woman, is 98.6 degrees. Okay? You have blood, you have sometimes urine that leaks out, you have blood clots that comes out. Okay, and it's sitting here with no breathability. That's a breeding ground for, what do you think?
Bacteria.
Bacteria. Actually, bacteria. So this is what's causing yeast infections and bacteria to build up, because there's no breathability in this pad. And like I mentioned, this is the most popular brand on the market. Okay, so this is equivalent to 4 plastic trash bags. Your pad is actually made of trash, from the material that I've just showed you, from the recycled newspaper to this. Actually, it is stronger than your average trash bag. As I'm pulling and pulling and pulling and pulling,
Wow.
it's stronger than a trash bag. Actually also, the adhesiveness that helps the pad stick on the panty is made out of a what is it? It's like a conventional construction glue.
Oh,
right?
really?
Yeah. So that's not healthy. That causes a lot of problems too. That's not healthy to have that type of adhesiveness on the pad. So that's basically, ladies, that's your sanitary napkin, the most popular brand on the market. And as you see here, the absorbency system has not absorbed any water.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. And so the reason we show this is because a lot of women, they go to the store. Let me turn my camera around now. A lot of women, they go to the store and they buy these pads with 30 and 40 in the pack. And what I tell them is, you're going to use all 30 and 40 of them too, because you're going to be changing every hour or two, right? I have yet to meet a woman wearing these type of pads that has kept these pads on longer than 2 or 3 hours. So a lot of women tell me they change every hour or two because they just don't feel comfortable with the wetness. And so somebody may ask us, okay, if you're watching, how are what you guys bring into the market is going to be different? Okay, how is it going to be different than what we just saw? So we're actually going to do a part 2, a second video, actually, when we get a chance, and we're going to actually show you the difference and actually show you some of the highlights of what we're bringing to the market behind our Justice for My Jewel campaign.
Yes.
One of the highlights I can definitely tell you is that you're not going to be changing every 1 to 2 hours. I can tell you from the tests that we've sent out, the beta test, women have tested this pad for at least 8 hours.
Yeah.
Okay. I've had personal testimonies from my wife that she felt like she did not have a pad on, that she couldn't tell, because the way we built our pad and designed our pad, the absorbency system, it removes the fluid away from the body. Okay. So that's one of the highlights. The second highlight is that we have a natural technology in our pad also called graphene. And Tina, in this group, I'm pretty sure she posted some information about graphene. You guys can go back in this group and look at this video. Graphene is going to be an amazing technology for the simple fact that it has some health benefits to it. And so It has a lot of health components. We have the medical industry that is figuring out what they actually want to do with graphene, as far as what they want to use it for, because there's so many different things they can use it for. They found out that they can detect cancer with graphene, diabetes with graphene. And they also are coming out with graphene bandages for burn victims, because you won't need a regular band-aid anymore. You have the graphene bandages that will heal on site. So do your research on graphene. You're probably asking, what does graphene have to do with being in a sanitary napkin? Well, for one, it's going to help women with inflammation. It's going to help women with abdominal cramping. It's also going to help women with eliminating odor from the pad from being on their cycle. That's one of the other testimonies that we got back, is that there was no odor, no smell during the cycle when they were wearing our Jewel premium sanitary napkins. And so I'm excited. Tina's excited because we're going to be launching this product on June the 1st. And, we're just looking for people to support us in this journey. And definitely, we want our teens to be aware of this information that I just shared, because we don't want them starting off on the wrong foot. There's too many women who started off with these type of pads at a young age, and now they have something wrong with them. Right? They're suffering from fibroid tumors, all kind of stuff. So
Yes.
we want to try to eliminate that by giving them something natural, something healthier, and definitely eliminating a lot of issues with the graphene technology. And I know a lot of people are asking about graphene, and it's non-radioactive, so that's the best part about it.
Oh, well, Larry, thank you so, so much for giving us some of your time and also giving us that very thorough demonstration of what we are exposed to traditionally with what we have in the market now, what's in traditional stores when we go every single month. And also, I'm looking forward for us doing the part two so they can see why the Jewel sanitary premium sanitary napkin is the way to go in regards to our monthly cycle for young girls and all women, and how it's going to be something that's truly going to make history in regards to women's health. I know I'm super duper excited about it. Can't wait for it to come out June 1st. I have already tried the preliminary sanitary napkin. Absolutely love it. Have seen so many great benefits for not only myself, but my daughter. And this is going to be even better. So I just cannot wait. And I'm just going to share more and more of my story as we get closer to on my journey and why I decided to do this and why I'm so happy that I took the chance, and how you or everybody else should take that chance too, because at the end of the day, it's something we have to have women as women for 30, 40 plus years. So why
Yep.
put something on us that is damaging our health and wellness when we can use something that can promote health and wellness? So I'm excited about it, excited to be at the forefront alongside you and alongside with some other amazing people spreading awareness on this very sensitive but yet very important topic of women health and what we use for sanitary napkins. So until next time, you guys, Larry and I is getting ready to go. We enjoyed talking with you, and thank you again for that demonstration. Looking forward to part two. And you guys, remember, if you have any questions, just comment and we will get back to you as soon as possible. Talk to you later. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.